welcome back to BERNAMA. Today you're with me, Jessie, as well as Katsu. We are hoping that you're feeling as fabulous as we are right here on the show as we bring you some of the latest updates that's happening, well, mostly in the country. I was going to say around the country as well, but a lot of things happening in the country. So yes, of course, World Cup is something that everyone's been talking about. The Germany-South Korea game where Germany crashed out of the World Cup stage after defeat to South Korea. Totally unexpected.
Very much. It was during extra time. I watched it. I jumped out of my sofa. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, they said it's the curse of the champion. As you can see from the video, you can see although they lost, but I think they're okay. You know, they celebrate for everything. I lose, I celebrate. I win, I celebrate.
This, of course, was before the game, so spirits were still very high.
Very high.
After the game, I think quite different. Okay, moving on to the Tabung Harapan, which is snowballing day by day. It now stands at 127 million. And some, as well as, you know, that number keeps increasing. It is counting. We don't have the latest numbers on that yet, but this is the official one that's been released, the latest one being released. If you're feeling you would like to contribute, the account number is there as well.
Okay, now moving on to what had happened yesterday. It's about seized or items seized from our former Prime Minister's houses. So Datuk Sri Najib has to answer to authorities about the 1 billion ringgit worth of booty found at his residences, and this was said by KJ or Khairi Jamaluddin. So he said the case will still be investigated by the authorities, and no party could preempt the police investigation by issuing statements of condemnation or criticism.
That's right. So still on the same topic, acting UMNO president and you know, the ex-Prime Minister's, I guess, right-hand man, Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, said that the party is leaving it to the authorities to take the necessary action on the money amounting to millions of ringgit that have been seized from premises linked to the former Prime Minister, Najib Razak. So previously it was, you know, that money is unaccounted for. They've said that it was meant to be used for the elections, but Zahid Hamidi is saying, well, we leave it up to the authorities. We don't know. Moving on, to international news.
So we would like to talk about, of course, we'd like to talk about Michael Jackson. So gathering of works by 48 artists from around the world to show Jackson-inspired paintings, photographs, videos, textiles and ceramics. So it ranges from 1980s pop art portraits by Andy Warhol, I think we all know who he is, Keith Haring, to David LaChapelle, depictions of Christ-like Jackson, and Kehinde Wiley's vast portrait of entertainer as a king on a horseback.
That's right. So US artist Todd Gray, who worked for Jackson as a photographer back in the 1970s and 80s, recalls the legend as a sweet-natured person. Of course, he was much younger than in his youth. He said he was a sweet-natured youth. Gray has reworked all his old pictures by layering other pictures over Jackson's face, including images from Ghana, where the artist also has a home. I didn't know that.
So with that, he says, Gray reworked his old photos by layering other pictures over Jackson's face, including images from Ghana, where you said. So he changed so much over the years, and we all have our own ideas of who Michael is, and it depends on how old we are, what generation we are from, that we fix it. The thing is, it's true, you know, though he has passed, I think, for many, many years, the new generations, when they listen to his music, though they don't know who he is,
still captivated.
People are still adoring him.
It still gets your feet tapping, and you do question who was Michael Jackson? How was he? I never thought I'd be in a day where someone says who is Michael Jackson, but I can imagine my kids asking me that. Who is Michael Jackson?
You know why they will ask? Because he is such a awesome person and an entertainer, which you don't see it now. You don't find those kind of people in our media right now.
That's right. Moving on from Michael Jackson to the father, Joe Jackson, who unfortunately passed on just yesterday, 27th of June 2018 in Las Vegas, become one of the most successful yet terrifying stage fathers in music history.
If he's not terrifying, you don't see Jackson 5 on stage. You don't have Michael Jackson. You don't have Janet Jackson. If he is not what he was.
That's right, but this man can be said to be responsible for some of the greatest entertainment that we've seen on earth, as well as the greatest entertainment family the world has ever known. I may not agree by his ways, but he has left a legacy, and him being a stern, fearsome manager and father to these kids who have been so well known. But yes, his abuse, or what was his, unfortunately, his abuse is something people don't
agree upon. But some people would say, though he abused, but you at the end of the day, we have Jackson 5, we have Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson and the whole family. Everybody knows who they are, and they became the greatest entertainer, or the entertainer of a family. Came from a family. So that's another thing that we look into. And from there, let's move on to Mel B. So Mel B, as we all know, or as the 90s would know, whoever was watching the Spice Girls, says that the Spice Girls would have a reunion and they are going to perform together. So this, it was said during NBC's Today on Wednesday, during the America's Got Talent.
That's right. So there you have Scary Spice, not looking very scary right now.
Right.
But let's take a look at what they say.
We're not touring.
She's always bloody saying that. Stop it.
Well,
we are touring.
You are?
Yes.
You're doing it?
Should I have really said that out loud?
Yeah.
Yes, we are going to be doing performances together for sure.
So you're going to be doing performances. So there is a reunion, essentially.
Yeah, but I said that.
You did say that. You said it was going to be at the wedding.
Right, so there you have it, the Awesome Five, known as the Spice Girls. They are coming back together. During their era was also Boyzone, and Boyzone is performing in Malaysia soon, and they will announce their separation from after that particular collaboration.
Right.
And here we have Mel B saying that they will be having a reunion. So for all of us who grew up with their music from that era,
I hope
exciting.
Malaysia will be one of those places that they would consider coming over and perform.
That's right.
I will be there and watch them.
We will be there. So all the different spices, from scary to ginger to sporty to posh, as well as baby spice, they will all be making a comeback. So I'm sure we'll have more information on that coming up soon.
Right.
But for now, we take a quick breather. When we come back, I'll be speaking to a very interesting person, Terrence Douglas. He is, of course, a caregiver and a volunteer as well. We're speaking to him about his involvement with caregiving to senior citizens. And it's a pretty remarkable and interesting story, as well as a very selfless act. We'll be speaking to him shortly.
Right, after the break, so stay tuned.
Hi there, thanks for being with us right here on BERNAMA today. Today I speak to our very special guest, Terrence Douglas. He's a caregiver as well as a volunteer in social services. What he has done is truly remarkable, and we want to hear his story as he also talks about the landscape and platform in terms of how we caregive to our senior citizens here in Malaysia. He's been a banker for over 23 years, but then decided to shift his focus for caring for our senior citizens. Welcome to the show, Delron. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, it's been a wonderful day, and there's no jam today in Nairobi. So
absolutely, everything is looking up here in our country. You, of course, being a caregiver and a volunteer now, you run a Some for Charity and you run one for business as well. But you've been a banker over 23 years. Even now, you have a full-time job as a financial consultant. But yet, you have found space in your heart and in your life to give back to the community, especially to care for senior citizens. Tell us how this happened.
Well, I was a banker, and during those times, I used to join friends and do charity work. So in one occasion, when I was doing this charity work, giving donations to this old folks' home, what happened was I saw that the place was a bit run down. The place was like, the toilet was not working, the drains had potholes, even holes in the drain where the water was stagnant. The roof was almost collapsed, and there was leakages in the house. So I asked the caregiver there at that time, way back in 2011, why is this place so run down? Why can't this place be better run? And their response was that they don't have the funds. They are doing it charity based, and whatever donations people give is enough to cater for the food and the salary or wages of the staff.
So
And
just the day-to-day.
Day-to-day. They don't have enough to do all the maintenance work. And I thought that I gave them some advice and how to go about doing it. And then they told me, if you think you can do it better, why not you run this place and take it over from us?
And you did.
And I did. And it started from there.
It's amazing. And
Yeah.
you actually thought, you said, hey, I think I can do a better job.
Yes, I thought I could do a better job. The old people needs better because they are old. They're in their twilight years of their life,
Yeah.
and they're not going to be long. Why can't we give the best to them before before they move on or whatever?
And you have transformed this particular charity home called
Yeah.
the Zenith in Sungai Petani.
Yes.
You have taken it from literally it being
It's
falling apart
yeah, falling apart.
to something so successful now.
Yeah. I got donations. I got friends to help, classmates who helped to donate to do the plaster ceiling. Because of my 23 years in the banks, I had a lot of banker friends who donated, who gave sums of money to help to build a better kitchen cabinet, and we upgraded the home so that even though it's charity run, it doesn't have to be the minimal basic things they get.
That's
they
right.
can
It
get.
doesn't have to be bad,
Yeah,
in
it
other
doesn't
words,
have to be-
just
yeah.
because it's under
Yes,
a charity,
charity.
or an NGO that is running it. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the bigger picture here. Where are we in terms of caring for our senior citizens? And we of course have a rapidly aging population as
Now,
well. So
Based
what does
on
this mean?
government census and census outside, our population will touch 36 million by year 2030. So, and depending on who the census are, some says that we will have a 10 to 15% population above 60 years old, meaning 3.5 to 5 million people will be above 60 years old. And not everyone are as fit as Tun M. So
Yes.
many of them need care. Basically, not because the children want to abandon them, but they have no time to take care of the parents. The parents needs medical care. The parents are at home alone. They're afraid they run out and don't know how to come back. So they need someone to take care of them while they go to work.
Also, many are not well. Perhaps they're suffering
Yes,
from an illness,
illness or
disease,
bedridden.
or bedridden, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of care needs to be given.
Given.
But how
Okay.
versatile or how
But
equipped are we?
Because not everyone can afford to pay. So in that sense, by the rich, those who can afford it, they can send to better homes where they are run as a business like. But poor people, those who cannot afford, also need caregivers to take care of their parents, and the charity homes comes into the picture. Now there are so many types of charity homes. There are those that are they charge. Those are fully run by NGOs. There are those dependent are charged partially, but we take donations to cover up the sum, and meaning that if the mother or the father, the children can afford to pay the minimal 600 for the food, then the donations cover for the salary, wages, and repairs and maintenance. So there are so many categories.
That's right.
And there is also the Islamic one, the government run one. There are so many. But in our government today has no standardized law to say how are the homes to be run.
So there are no SOPs, no guidelines whatsoever.
No proper guidelines. There was a proposal way back in 2016 to enact a law for aged caregivers, but that law has yet to come to pass. But it's all gray area. There's no proper way to say that, okay, because you are an old folks home, you must prepare physiotherapists, or you must have nurses, or you must have how many beds. There's no proper thing being done. The only people doing a good job here is the welfare department previously, but different welfare departments run it differently.
Again,
So
yeah,
again,
it's not,
so there is no you come to the state of KL, it's run differently. You come to the state of Kedah, it's run differently.
so who has been helpful and who has been
Welfare
doing
departments
a
has
good
been
job?
more helpful. Municipal councils and DBKL, they are tied down by laws. I give you an example. If you are opening an old folks home in Negeri Sembilan, you can take any home and open and convert it into a nursing home.
Okay.
But if you want to do it in KL, and if even though your intention is good, because of the law, you need the approval of your neighbors, immediate neighbors, front, back, and both sides, to say, okay, you can run an old folks home as my neighbor. But chances are many do not want to give.
Right.
So when you don't give this kind of approval, they will open it far away, outside the city, and who wants to send there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no one. So they will find those illegally run, meaning you don't give me approval, I still need to run an old folks
I'll
home.
do it on the quiet.
Yes, that is why 60% or more of the nursing home or old folks home in Malaysia are not licensed because the red tapes. There are a lot of red tapes.
So, in your opinion, having been involved with this for some time now, what could be a possible solution? I mean, if you could go in and change the system.
If I was to change the system, I would have a one-stop center, meaning the welfare department has the authority to set the rules whereby if a condominium is allowed to be a old folks home, why not? You have the facilities, you have the garden, you have everything there.
That's
Why
right.
not? Why not get those condominiums to run old folks home, and you override the JMAs or the bodies involved to say no, you
Well,
cannot run.
Well, I do think that that's a great idea that
That's
can
not
be
great, but
worked
it's
on.
or one-stop center whereby the fire brigade, fire department's approval. Because when you get a license, you need to go so many departments. You need the fire department, you need the health ministry, you need the welfare department, you need the town council. You need so many approvals before you can open an old folks home.
And yet, the reason for opening an old folks' home is one that is not just noble, but
Yeah.
one is that's really aiding and helping
and
those who are in need.
So it's difficult. There's so many things we need to do. If I want to run a charity home, people cannot afford, send to me. But to get my license, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. It cost me around 50,000-60,000 just to set up a home properly run.
So it's one that is very difficult to
do, but
to
it's
do,
there's a need.
cumbersome,
Yeah.
with high costs,
Yeah.
but yet we need it. It's like a
Yeah.
fundamental
Yeah.
thing that we need in our society. Let's talk a little bit about the training for the caregivers and
Okay.
what kind of accreditations do we need, because when you say legal centers, although it's not doing anything wrong per se, but of course it's not abiding by the
the
law,
law.
then you have a cost issue, you have an issue of how do you raise funds, and then you
Yes.
end up employing people who want to do it
Yeah.
because they want to do it. They may
Now-
not be qualified.
Now, the center that I run, thanks to the friends that I have or to the bankers who donate, I can employ a physiotherapist, a few nurses, including local mates, and to help out in the cleaning up and everything. So I can afford it because I'm getting the donations. What about those people who don't get?
Right.
Okay. As for training, there is no guideline to say that to run a home, you must have these people who are trained in such area. The only training so far that I've sent my staff to are those run by hospitals or doctors, or when they give lectures, I send them there. When you go for your typhoid injection jab, you need to go for a half an hour lesson, or the cleanliness, how to handle food. That one I send my staff to. But how many homes do that? Even restaurants, you see, they don't even send for injection and typhoid jabs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, of course, what is clear is that we need to have a lot more clearer guidelines,
Yeah.
a better, perhaps an institution or
And less red tape.
yeah,
Yeah,
and,
less
and,
red
and
tape.
less red tape. Fine line between a charity home and one that runs it for business, because you had mentioned earlier that a lot of people who can afford it end up sending their aging parents as well to an
Yeah.
NGO or a charity
Okay.
home.
Because when you do not have clear guidelines, and when you have charity homes that are accepting anyone, there are people who can afford to send their parents to a better home, but they will take advantage of the system and send them to a charity home. I don't have to pay. People can still take care of them, and they depend on donations by the general public to support.
But there's so many things there. There's no
Yeah.
standards. There's lack of
Correct.
attention to one particular,
None. There's none. And it's
person.
unfair to the general public to donate to a charity home when those who can afford to send better homes are sending there. So it depends on the government to set a rule. How do we help all these independent charity homes, NGOs, government run? How to have a standard SOP for everyone?
Do you know how many homes we have across the country right now?
When
Roughly?
in 2016, I heard there'll be around 1,036 in 2016. I do not know how many they are now. 60% of them are not registered or not licensed.
So
That's a lot.
That's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot,
And
yeah.
I think something needs to be done urgently towards ensuring that this. There are also a lot of grey areas, isn't it? We had spoken about this earlier. And again, having no clarity on this makes it a lot more difficult for us to ensure that we're keeping up to a certain standard and we're giving the best care that we can give. You're also part of the Aged Caregiver Malaysia, which is
Okay.
something you've tried to initiate.
Yeah, actually, the previous government got all the caregiver operators, whether legal, illegal, licensed, unlicensed, to come together for a meeting in KL. So they came from all over Malaysia, but not everyone turned up. Some were afraid, I'm illegal, should I go, should I not go?
Right.
Okay, so they all turned up in KL. And during the meeting, they came to a conclusion that we should have an umbrella body to represent all aged caregivers to set a proper standard so that everyone follow guidelines,
That's right.
follow
Everyone's
a
on the
rule.
same page,
Yeah, on the
really.
same page, yeah.
Yeah.
So there won't be problems whereby unlicensed charity homes or aged caregiver homes, you have fire burning down, there's no proper escape route, there's not, that kind of things.
So there's
need
so
to be
many
done.
aspects as well here, like
Yeah.
like you're pointing out, safety, health, hygiene,
Hygiene, yeah.
and the kind of care we are giving, whether we can bring medical aid to these homes or how we work that out as
Are
well.
we allowed to get foreign help, foreign mates to fill up all the homes, or must we get local?
And of
Only
course,
local?
the biggest issue, of course, funding.
Funding. Yeah, it's
How
all-
do we get that?
When you want the best staff, you want to get staff nurses, you want to get nurses, physiotherapists in your caregiving home, you need extra funds to pay their salaries.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to come to work to you, you're going to pay them peanuts.
Yes, and it's no more something that can be in our blind spot anymore, because as you rightly pointed out, in the years to come, the population, the aging population,
it's going to be
is going to grow,
15% of
and that
our
will
population.
be our parents and one day even us.
Yes.
So this, of course, is a pertinent problem that really needs to be highlighted, which is one of the many reasons why we're speaking about it today. Delrin, thank you so much for doing what you do. I know it's not easy juggling, your personal life, professional life, and then trying to do this as well.
I enjoy seeing these old people being happy. It's their twilight years.
Yeah.
They're happy to see me there. I mean, who's not happy to have someone to visit them daily?
Absolutely.
Who's not happy? And if you're old, and sometimes they're forgetful. I may visit this old person in the home in the morning. In the afternoon, I come back and she'll say, "Who are you? Thank you for visiting me." And but I'm the one who giving care for her, and she can forget. So these are the twilight years. So I'm trying to do my best, give my best to them, let them enjoy life. That few years left, give them the best before.
That's right.
Yeah.
And just like you, I think all our viewers can also help to do that if we can, spare some effort, spare some time, or spare some money to contribute towards the aging population of Malaysia. Once again, thank you so much for being in the studios with us. We hope to have you back and perhaps that time talk a little bit more about how some of the SOPs and guidelines, have been in place. I know that's something you're trying to pursue, very actively as well. That's all the time we have on the show today. Thank you so much for keeping it locked on right here to BERNAMA Today. Keep it tuned in to BERNAMA News Channel as we bring you more updates for the rest of the day. Have a wonderful day ahead. See you next time. Bye-bye.